So, good morning once again, and this is a wonderful, bright Sunday today. And in the last video, we had discussed about the skills of teaching. Okay, so today I wanted to discuss about just for some time. I would like to spend some time on the skill of introduction. Okay, now when I talk about skill of introduction, this skill of introduction is basically used in micro teaching for Bachelor of Education students so that they are able to create that interest and engagement in the mind of the students when they teach in the class. So it is basically for a teacher, if she wants to teach a topic, before she goes ahead and teaches a topic, she has to introduce it, right? Now, what is skill of introduction? Now, it is not possible for a teacher to, it is not actually a proper thing, I would say, for a teacher to just go into the class, open up a textbook and say that today we are going to study the topic of, business communication, right? Because that will just kill the curiosity of the student because they already know what they're going to study. I think a very important thing for skill of introduction is that it basically helps the student to become curious when the teacher comes into the class and does not tell the topic of, that needs to be taught in the class. So it basically creates an interest and curiosity in the mind of the student. Oh, what is it that we are going to study today? So what she has to do is basically when the teacher is trying to introduce a topic, she basically has to activate the prior knowledge of the student for that particular topic, right? Now, how to activate that prior knowledge of the student? So while you want to introduce a topic, say from my perspective, if it is business communication, just close your eyes and see what comes to your mind when we talk about business communication, right? So now for me, when I talk about business communication, the first thing that comes to my mind is, right, all of us communicate. And for me, it is like even a child communicates. So how would I introduce this topic? I would just ask few questions to the students when I go to my class. I would just ask one question. Say, what is it that a baby does when he or she comes out of mother's womb, right? So the students might say that, it basically giggles, or I think a very important fact of a baby is that she or he cries, right? So I would ask, why does the baby cry? So the student might say that, basically it has come out of the womb, so it is first time seeing the world, so it wants to be closer to the mother. Now all this that the baby is doing is attempting on what? It is trying to tell something to the mother. And that telling something is in the form of crying. And that crying is basically trying to communicate to the mother that you please take me with you and hug me and let me be with you, right? So that is basically communication. Now I would tell my students that the same thing we would like to infer to our today's topic, which is business communication. So in today's class, we are going to talk about business communication. So what I did was, I just basically took an example from real life, right, which is basically very, very unrelated to my topic, that is business communication, but yet it is related because I'm talking about communication. Okay, so this basically helps the student to feel very close and relevant to the topic into consideration and brings that engagement and curiosity to learn. So what is it that we discussed in today's video? Okay, the first thing, skill of introduction is basically about, creating that engagement and curiosity into the mind of the student. Second, the teacher should never go to the class and say that today we are going to study this topic. So always try and introduce. Third, how do you introduce? You basically close your eyes and check what is it that comes to your mind when you talk about that topic and bring that relevant example to the class, which is probably closer to the topic but yet very far, which comes from the real life of the student. So which means that you need to activate the prior knowledge of the student for that particular topic, and that's how basically you introduce a topic into the class. And I would say further go and say that the skill of introduction is also about being the teacher, being a little dramatic into the class, so that everybody is paying attention. So skill of introduction is also about creating that attention into the class, and where the teachers always keep on wondering, how do we create that attention? So this is the way you can do that. Thank you so much, and I would be seeing you for the next skill, which is about closure. Good day.